Howdy do.
How are you?
Did you want to look at it? It's right below you. My bone! She got my bone done.
She made him a bone?
And you got a rose?
Yes, and I'm gonna need your collars for a little bit.
Oh, you're gonna put them on our collars?
Well, of course I am. That's what you guys asked for, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. Well, I need your collars, though. Well, you're welcome to them as long as we get them back.
With our goodies, our bubbles.
Okay, we'll call them bubbles. I got the the elastic thread. And so I'm going to try to get that to go through the holes that I left behind. Just for that. Oh! Threaded right through.
I'm happy with that.
It threaded right through. I took those little teardrop shaped beads off, or pendants off, because I thought the rose will look nicer without them. If they were green like leaves, maybe it'd be different, but they're not. So I am tying these on using this elastic thread, which is what the bracelet is strung on in the first place anyway. I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but I'll make sure that's good and tight. Now, these baked really well, so I hope. And they seem to be pretty solid. They're the first things I've made with that clay, so we're gonna, oh, okay. Now I cut it too short. I'm gonna have to start that over. The elastic thread didn't stay. I didn't want to get a tight enough knot. So I'm thinking it's got too much room. So let's try a different way. There's always another way to give it a try. Used to work at a place years ago. I worked at a lot of it. But years ago, when I first started working with people with special needs, they had this thing going, and I don't know, it worked. It seemed to make sense. You know, I mean, it was corny, but still, it made sense. And it was, I mean, the concept wasn't corny, it's the name of it. The name of it was called Try Another Way. But when you think about, you know, that's kind of complex when you're working with people who have to have things done a specific way. Well, not a specific way, but a specific level of ability. But yet, well, let me get this better. And it makes you be a little more inventive in your thinking. And there's been, you know, there have been, I mean, maybe they quit calling it that. Maybe they quit calling it Try Another Way. But they continued using the concept. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come out with some of the wonderful training tools that they had. Now, what have I gone and done? Okay, I think I'm going to have to do the kind of a slip knot with this. Anyway, well, not a slip knot, but sort of like a cinch. I need to do a cinch knot. Anyway, we started out, Yeah, I mean, it used to be you just fed it. You just, those that didn't have an easy time eating, like back in the 70s, you just haven't fed them. That was just the way it was done. But, then there was a big to-do about, hey, this could be better. And a bunch of parents said, hey, we wanted this to be better. Which was good that they did, because a lot of things changed. One of those things was that they came up with interesting ways, and not only interesting ways, but ways that worked for people who had a limited amount of movement just to feed themselves. And, to any of us, it might look odd at our table, unless we're willing to see it as their normal. And this, I think, is where society falls down. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm getting a little bit, but it's something I did for many, many years of my life, and something I'll always be passionate about. But one thing they did is they learned to curve the spoon and put a bulky handle on it, so that someone who maybe had movement like this, but not like this, and maybe their hands were, and they even came up with ways to strap it to the hand. And over time, they were taught, well, I'll talk about that after I get this tied on, because I can't seem to do both at once. Talk about try another way. One way is to be quiet so I can concentrate. There we go. Can you see yourself in the screen? Oh, I love it. That's so pretty. I got a rose on my neck. Isn't that pretty? Like, just like you're wearing a necklace or a pendant, isn't it? Yes, it is. I love it. Oh, thank you, Glenda. Thank you, thank you. Well, your name's Rosie, and you got a rose. And guess what? What? I got to try a new skill. It's the first thing I made. And I got to try something new. Oh, that's awesome. It's cool to try things and new things. Well, you sure do a lot of them. Yeah, I got kind of I did a lot with the beads. But anyway, I got to do Buster's. I got to do his bone. But, okay. When this whole deal started, well, I don't know if it came out exactly at that, but there were a lot of things changed back in those times. And one of them was that they came out with these plates that had they could spoon toward them, and it had a barrier. It had a thing you clipped on that would stop it from. They called them scoop plates then. I don't know what they call them now, but and then with depending on if they were right or left-handed, they would have these large handled spoons, because we a lot of times had people that had like severe cerebral palsy, as well as because we had both. What they call it is they have most have more than one diagnosis, besides the learning problems or the mental retardation, which we try as much to avoid those words these days, although it is what it is. It's more of they call it developmental disability, which I think is probably more correct, because it's also more inclusive. There we go, Buster. But, a lot of those people that weren't able to feed themselves in are now. And that's just one example. There's hundreds of examples of ways that things have changed since back then. Those were just the beginnings of the rumblings. There we go. Well, I don't know if we can get it to stay. What do you think?
Oh, I got a bone. And I could even call it a bow tie if I wanted. It's just the right size. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. It goes so nice with your buttons that on your collar there.
Yeah, it looks so formal. Wow. I'm glad it's just a little darker than some of my fur.
Yeah. No, it contrasts your beads and some of the darker fur, so
I like it.
I'm glad. We had to come in here because my memory card got full on that one. So I have run it off onto the computer, but we will finish up here. That sounds fine to me. Anyway, what were you saying about the try another way? Oh, that. Yeah, I was talking about when I used to take care of people people with special needs. Well, you have special needs. Well, yes, I do. Oxygen's one of them. Maintaining my health is another. But I'm able to take care with a little help from Joe and my doctors. But otherwise, I'm pretty well able to care for myself.
Well, golly, we're not all the same. I mean, she's a Rosie dog with a big top of her head, and I don't have much top to my head at all. But I can still think.
Yes, you can. And the thing of it is, a lot of people with special needs that others look at as having these big bad problems that they need to just feel sorry for them. The sympathy doesn't, it's good to have a little sympathy, but it doesn't help them just feeling sorry for them.
No, it don't. I see what you mean.
I've got a lot of different ways to try with making this. My rose? No, just anything out of this clay. His is a different shape than yours, right? Yeah. Still made of the same stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Yup.
I'm having an awful time. And your bone is all twisted. Thank you, Rosie. Anyway, so there's a lot of different things I could make with that polymer clay. They could be different colors, different sizes, different shapes. So there's going to be a lot of try another way. I see what you mean. And a lot of different tools. I see what you mean. You ever think she repeats herself a little?
Thank you, everybody.
And remember to subscribe, click the notification button,
Make a comment and give us a like.
and don't ever forget to smile.
And wave. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night. Good night.